So my name is Dr. G.L.A. Harris. Many of my colleagues call me Gigi. I'm a professor in the Department of Public Administration in the Mark Hatfield School of Government. My discipline specifically is in public administration, public policy. The research that I conduct for the most part is about the military and specifically the U.S. military. I have recently begun for the past 2 years looking at the militaries within the countries of NATO members. And I look at issues regarding women in the military as well as race and or ethnicity, as well as other issues. The book that I just published is about blacks in the military and beyond, specifically in the U.S. military. And more recently for 2 Fulbrights. One was about examining women in the Canadian Armed Forces, as well as for the second Fulbright, I looked at women in NATO countries, at NATO. But the work I'm most proud of in terms of its impact is the research that I conducted as a pilot study initially, on the veterans as students at PSU. The graduate students I had were not participating in class, and the civilian students obviously didn't understand why, and I found myself always coming to the aid or always advocating for these students. And as a result, we met off campus. It goes into even more detail than that, because at the time the campus was quite inhospitable to veterans, and students who were veterans as well as those in the military really didn't want to talk to anyone. But when they learned that I myself am in the military, they felt comfortable with me. And as a result, we decided to go to ODVA, and ODVA, we were able to convince them to give us a seed money for a pilot study, and we established what was then called a student veteran service office. We established a statewide task force, and the governor himself, who is a veteran, we were able to pass Oregon House Bill 2178, which really mandates that at that time, any higher education institution that were the recipients of monies from OUS, Oregon University System, had to establish an SVSO. And the SVSO, then from that, the federal government learned about what we were doing, and from there, the proliferation of veterans resource centers that you've got around the countries as a result of my research, and in turn the task force that we had established here. So I'm pretty proud of that. My name is Dr. G.L.A. Harris, and my research examines equity issues in the military, particularly regarding women and underrepresented minorities.